You know, there's a lot of drivers that listen to this show. And you might think, well, yeah, we've got like close to 200 drivers driving for Liquid. That's not what I'm talking about. This show gets between 1,500 and 2,000 downloads every single week, and it has for a while. So when I say a lot of drivers are listening, a lot of Liquid drivers are listening, but a lot of other people are listening as well. And if you want my 2 cents on the whole thing, I think what you've got is a bunch of drivers that are not happy, that found the podcast, they're driving for whatever company it may be, and they're listening to you guys talk about what it's like working at Liquid Trucking. And then they're calling my boy Jake, and they're saying, give me a piece of that pie. I want to be paid by the hour. I want to yank a tank, and I want to be as happy as all these guys that I hear on the Liquid Trucking podcast. Makes sense to me. And today, we are going to kind of bring that whole thing full circle. I've got 3 vet drivers here that are going to tell you about the ins and outs of tanking. Tanking 101. What do you need to know if you've never hauled tank before? What type of dangers are there? What are some things that you might not even think of that might be very important to be able to do the job not only correctly, but safely? And it's more nuanced than what you might think. And I cannot wait to talk about it today. Oh, and did I mention we have our trivia championship today? Get ready as we pit Vic the Brown Bandit Walker against the appointed trivia champion from the Plattsmouth terminal, Darian Mateo, company pilot and IT guy. This is going to be a good one. 2 very smart individuals. Vic's already won twice, and we are going to dangle a carrot out in front of him today. More drive for gold points if he wins against Darian, and that's going to be a tall order. So let's get into it.
Welcome to the gold standard of podcasts for the gold standard of drivers. This is the Liquid Trucking Podcast with your host, Marcus Bridges.
What's up, everybody, and welcome into the Liquid Trucking Podcast. Thank you so much for being here today. I am your host, Marcus, and of course, I am joined by my co-host, Amanda. How's the weather out in Ohio? Any trees falling on your house lately or internet problems? I know we just had a move there. Okay, sorry.
Don't say it. Don't jinx me. No, look, the leaves are all blooming on the trees. I'm happy. It's raining, but it's going to make everything bloom faster. It's all good. It's all good.
Okay, we're good here. We're good. Well, my brain is swelling up along with my sinuses because it's allergy season in the Pacific Northwest. So if you get a random sneeze or a big from me in the middle of this, you'll know why.
Good to know.
Just grass seed capital of the world, just right up the road from me, and I'm struggling here. But that's not what we're here to talk about today, Amanda. I got a quick question for you to set up our topic today. How many days do you think it would take you to have a catastrophic accident if I just put you in a tanker and told you to go off and unload someplace some kind of product that the guys at Liquid haul?
Oh, I would definitely be the reason that it would say 0 days up on some board somewhere, for sure. For sure. Someone coming in all sad with their marker eraser and having to write that big old 0 days without an accident because I'm not there. I don't have the knowledge. I don't have the expertise, but I know some people that do.
Yeah, and it's, when I really developed a great respect for it, I've always had great respect for truck drivers, and especially talking to them and listening to them describe the job. But there was a truck rodeo at Liquid Trucking's 3rd annual employee jamboree, and one of the things that the truck rodeo entailed was a walk-around inspection. And the drivers had the trucks parked there, and they had a guy with a clipboard, and the drivers were walking around doing their inspection in the way that they would before any day, and they were being graded on it, Amanda. And I'm telling you, like, you think you know what a walk-around inspection of a truck would look like until you see the walk-around inspection of a tank. And you realize it's like, well, you've got all the trappings of the tractor itself. You got to check that out the same. but there are so many valves and so many little butterfly knobs and all these things around the outside of a tank. I hear these guys talk about the dangers of blowing a cap off, and I'm like, oh, that would hit me in the middle of the chest, day one, hour one. I'm blowing a cap off. I just don't have the detail-oriented mind that it takes to do the job that these guys do. I really don't. I'm too much of a scatterbrain.
Absolutely. And I think also when you're doing something that has so many steps and so many parts and pieces, it can sometimes become too routine to where you might miss something. Again, it's so important to have that attention to detail in this position. I'm just wondering, when they did it, you called it what, a truck rodeo? Is that what you called it? When they're in there getting judged, I wonder if they have to make a super serious face like that girl with the goat. You know who I'm talking about. She just like super, no, you're not allowed to smile. You cannot smile.
You know, I don't know if they're graded on that face, but I can tell you they all made it from top to bottom. Even the founder of the company, Roger Schmidt, who competed in the truck rodeo at the age of, I think, 83.
Awesome.
He had the look of all serious, all business, and it was really cool. I mean, if you can, they do truck rodeos in every state, and if you're ever close enough to just go watch one, I didn't think I would be as intrigued by watching them like pull up to the barrier, but they're inching up and you're going, it's such a big truck. How can you see it? And then you talk to them afterwards and they're like, I can't see it. I know where it is. Like I've developed skills here, Marcus. Like it's not as
crazy.
You know, they tell you it's not as hard as what it would seem once you do it all the time. But that's kind of what we're here to talk about today, Amanda. Tanking 101. Now I said it in the cold open. We've got about 200 drivers driving for Liquid. We got about 2,000 people listening to this podcast every week. That math doesn't math, but not much math does for me, as you'll find out later in the show. What the thing about it is here is there's got to be guys out there that are listening to this podcast because they're looking for a new gig. They're thinking, hey, I'm going to listen to see what the drivers have to say. I'm going to feel the company out a little bit. And what we're bringing those listeners today is a class in Tanking 101. We've got 3 drivers that are going to join us here in just a minute, and they're 3 very experienced drivers. One of them 3 decades worth of experience, not just driving, but driving for Liquid Trucking. That's our guy Polar Bear. They're going to walk you through all of the little nuanced things that entail pulling a tank. I mean, it is way deeper than what you might think. They're going to talk about various things that they've had happen to them in the past, Amanda, where things got close or maybe went wrong. And it's like, we just did the episode a couple weeks ago, the Verify Project, Verify Everything. And I really do feel like this episode is a bit of a piggyback off of that because, Amanda, I think what we heard, and we've already recorded this conversation, what we heard is these guys talking about verifying everything all the time, right? It was just start to finish checking everything.
All of that just makes me feel very comfortable knowing that that's what's going on with people that are carrying tons, right?
Yeah, especially some of the stuff that they're hauling. I mean, you know, they've got alcohol, they've got caustic, they've got chemicals. Like, you want these guys to have their stuff together. Otherwise, hands get burn off or people get exploded into the air and get hurt really bad. So that's why we're bringing you this one today. Maybe you've never driven a tank before, but you're thinking about giving Liquid a call. Maybe you just got into your tank and you're feeling it out. You're getting your feet wet. You got some good training, but you still have questions. We might answer some of them today, or what I'll tell you, any one of these 3 guys that's joining us here would be happy to take your phone call and answer your question. If you see them in the yard, you got to hit them up. There's a reason we went with these guys today. They're super friendly, super approachable, and above all, very knowledgeable and very safe in doing the job that we do here at Liquid Trucking. So, Amanda, without further ado, let's get our 3 dudes in here and talk Tanking 101. All right, it's time to get our drivers in here, Amanda, to talk Tanking 101. And real quick before we bring them in, I just wanted to ask you, you've been on this podcast for a while now. If I were to ask you to just walk out and, hook that truck up so we can get it unloaded, what would go through your mind and how far do you think you'd get?
The first thing that would go through my mind is help. Honestly, the only thing I'm thinking about right now is the biggest thing I think that I've learned since talking to the folks from Liquid, and that's things like the surge, things that you wouldn't expect there being a difference from one truck to another. And there is quite a difference and a set of skills, we'll say, for these types of drivers.
Absolutely. And the surge is one that always comes up, and we're going to get to that and many more things that you should know if you're thinking about tanking as a career. And listen, you guys might think, well, hey, this is the Liquid Trucking Podcast. We're all already tankers. Why would you do this episode? I totally understand that. There's only about 200 of you guys, and we get between 1,500 and 2,000 listens a week. So this part of this episode is just going to be for those outside the tanking world, because we know you're listening, trying to figure out if Liquid Trucking is the right choice for you. We're going to help you make that decision today with 3 drivers that have been doing it for a while, and they've been doing the podcast for a while too. 3 of my vets here that have joined this show a ton, and we thank them for it every single time. Let's welcome them in here first. We got Matt MacKellar on the line. Matt, thanks for being here, man. Where are you at? Where are you headed today?
Yeah, glad to be here. I am in Iowa, just passed through Iowa City where my daughter goes to college, so I always text her a little wave emoji as I drive by, and I'm headed to the great land of Chicago.
Oh, joy. So really trying to enjoy the first half of this trip, I assume.
Right. It's all downhill from here.
I got you, man. I got you. Well, thanks for being here as always, Matt. Also joining us today, one of the very longest tenured drivers for Liquid Trucking, probably one of the best possible guests we could have to talk Tanking 101. That's our guy, Polar Bear. Polar Bear, great to have you back, man. Where are you at and where are you headed today?
I'm actually sitting at a washout in Michigan, Trenton, I think, but I got put behind a day, so my week has just went downhill with your. I've got 900 miles for the week, but I've got a lot of setting time. So yeah, I'm just enjoying the pay package here at Liquid.
I totally understand. Can
I say that on here?
I mean, we've talked 100 times about how you guys are paid hourly, so I think Liquid's happy with that. They pay you like that for a reason, right? They know that sometimes your day gets thrown into a little bit of a cattywampus there, which, I mean, I hope the weather's at least nice where you're sitting.
You know, it's rainy, but it's really nice. I got the screens for my windows now, so I got the windows down and no bugs coming in because of the screens. But no, it's amazing here. It's just wet. But you want to hear my speech I had for Dave when I found out we were going on hourly pay? I said, because I was going from Red Oak to Lovelady to Houston back north. And I said, so you're telling me if I'm stuck in traffic in Dallas or Houston or both, I'm getting paid? And he said, yes. Sign me up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's something.
I'm telling you, I was one of the first ones to go on computer logs. I was one of the first ones to go on hourly because guess what? We're going to it.
Right. And you've always
been guinea pig it for you.
You've always been happy being a guinea pig, even for some of the new tech in the trucks and things like that, right?
I'm telling you. Yeah, I like helping and I don't call it teaching. I'm just helping. You're doing it. I'm just trying to guide you on what to do.
Well,
and that's what I tell people when I'm working with them. If I get bossy or tell me, I don't know what you know, so I'm going to treat you as you don't know. So let me know,
Well, we're going to treat the whole episode like we don't know today, and that's why you're here. So we appreciate the time as always, PB, and looking forward to digging into your knowledge banks there. Also joining us today, we've got another vet of the podcast and vet of tanking. That's Michael Donut Duncan. Donut, I told you when we were off the air, I've been doing good. I haven't had a donut all week, but every time I talk to you, I end up driving down to Fred Meyer and getting myself a nice chocolate frosted donut. So welcome to the show, my friend. Glad to have you back.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back.
My waistline is not glad that you're back, but that's okay because nobody cares. I'm married. I'm in my 40s. Nobody's looking at it anymore except for me. And Amanda, I see you laughing over there. It's true, and I'm going to live in my delusion, so just let me, okay?
Listen, I've seen your wife. I don't feel bad for you. You're doing pretty darn good with whatever you got going on.
You know what I say, even a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while, so All right, fellas, let's dig in here. Now, I want to kill some misconceptions early because, again, I want to look at this like we're talking to guys. Maybe they've got a lot of experience bumping docks in a dry van. Maybe they've got a lot of experience keeping people up at night at the truck stop in a reefer. But what they don't have is any experience with a tank strapped to their back. And that's why you guys are here today. So, you know, Matt, one of the reasons I wanted you to come today is you will post these posts on social media, on Facebook, where you will maybe take a picture of the place that you're at and you'll talk through some of the nuance of your job for that particular drop. And I think that's really cool. But I also think it might give you a unique perspective. When I ask you this, when someone says tanker, what do you think most drivers that have never done it before get completely wrong about the job that you're doing out here?
I think they maybe think you're just driving the tanker, which, you know, for some people would be true. But for us, you know, 98% of the time, we're also the ones unloading it. And maybe 10% of the time, we're also the ones loading it. So, you know, people think about driving with it. But really, once you finish driving and arrive at the job site, your work's just begun. Now you got a plumbing job to do for the next hour and a half.
Right, and a lot of different plumbing jobs, right? They might not always be the same. You might be working with different hoses. You might be working with different lengths. I've seen you post sometimes before about the distance that you're at between where you're offloading and little things like that. There's a lot more to it, suffice it to say, Matt.
Yeah. I've had to run anywhere from 1 to 4 hoses. And then just last week, I unloaded bleach for the first time, which we have completely unique trailers to unload bleach that have all plastic valves and connections and electric powered rather than hydraulic, just because of the nature of the bleach interacting. And it's got its own air compressor and all kinds of gizmos on it. And so I studied out that trailer, and another driver was kind enough to kind of show me around it a little bit, and I was able to unload, but that was different than any other unload I'd done before.
Interesting. And you've been here for a little while, and you'd never gotten, you never crossed paths with bleach before. That's interesting to me, and something that I really want to present here because, Amanda, something that I think a lot of the listeners don't understand is the diversity of products that Liquid hauls, and those are, you know, like Matt said, like, I'm not smart enough to know why they need the plastic valves and the plastic hoses. I assume bleach can corrode metal, but I would have never known that if Matt hadn't have just said that, Amanda.
I swear, I'm going to sound really stupid, and maybe this is why I need to be in the Trucking 101 episode, but you guys, I forgive you for laughing at me. My first thought when I saw your trucks was milk, and like, I'm so wrong.
Well, there's so many. There's a huge fleet out there that drives around with a big cow on their tanks, and it seems like they only haul milk. So right. I understand that, but you guys are seeing those trucks and thinking, do you look at the milk guys, Matt, ever and be like amateurs or anything like that?
It definitely is higher stakes. I mean, you don't want to spill what you got, regardless of what it is. But yeah, you definitely think twice and 3 times when you got sulfuric acid or bleach or something fun like that.
Sure. I mean, if you're offloading milk and it starts to leak, just go grab a pint glass and a sleeve of donuts. You'll be just fine, right?
Not recommended with bleach.
Yeah, no. Not recommended. And hey, all jokes aside here, guys, we take everything that we do here very seriously, and I know that these guys, they're not messing around with any of the product that they haul. That's what Amanda and I do. Hypothetically, we joke around about it, but we're taking it seriously, and that's why we're here today. Got another question. I want to field this one out to Donut. Donut, is tanker harder than the other kind of hauling, or is it just different?
Certain aspects are a little more difficult because I've hauled dry van, I've hauled reefer, and then I came over here, and this was my first tanking job, and I love it. In most of the dry van and reefer jobs, I didn't have to do the unloading. Mm-hmm. So getting out, pulling the hose, climbing up the ladder, climbing down the ladder, climbing up the ladder, climbing down the ladder, just up and down and walking around the whole thing, making sure nothing's got to leak anywhere. Because these things can leak from the most random places for the most random reason.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little more active, which I kind of enjoy. I hated just sitting there in a dock at Walmart for 4 hours.
Sure. I might say a little more detail-oriented for sure, because there's so many different things you have to worry about.
Yeah. At first, when I started over here 3 years and change ago, I was nerve-wracking the first few months. I was out by myself. I'm like, okay, it could leak from here. This could happen. This could happen. This could happen. And I'm like, okay, I got to watch this and this and this, and check this and this and this. This is different. And then after year 1, year 2, I'm just like, just walking around, scanning the whole thing. I was like, okay, no problem. Oh, sprung a leak. Okay, reverse the pump. Do this. Shut this down.
Sure. No, it starts like anything else, right? It becomes habit. It becomes a routine. It becomes something. And far be it from me to not mention that just a couple weeks ago, we talked about the Verify project. So if this is becoming a routine for you and you are feeling a bit bored with it, hey, make sure you're checking everything. I want to do my job here as the host. And hey, we got to verify everything. You guys will actually, when we're recording this episode, I don't think you guys have actually heard that episode yet. Because we're recording this one a couple weeks in advance, but very important stuff that you got to verify absolutely everything, right, Donut?
Yes. And I don't think I've become complacent with it or anything like that. It's a lot easier now because I know what I'm looking for. Right. It's a lot easier to scan and keep track of everything. It was all new, and now I understand the equipment better.
Copy.
But like Matt was saying, from trailer to trailer, things can change. Absolutely. You can have one rear dump and you can be on one rear dump, drop that, grab another one, and the hookups are completely different and in totally different positions.
Interesting stuff, man. Super detail-oriented job, and you can't get complacent. That is one thing that you will hear Jason and Josh Schmidt talk about in our Verify Project episode, is complacency is a killer. And you got to make sure that you're just staying up on everything, verifying everything, and making sure to keep that detail-oriented part of your brain really active. Great stuff there from you, Donut. Polar Bear, your turn here. Do you think, let me rephrase that. What do you think the biggest difference is between hauling liquid and hauling anything else, Polar Bear? You've been doing this a really long time. It's probably been a while since you've hauled anything besides liquid, but what's one of the major differences that you would pinpoint?
The only thing that I could like I was going to say to Amanda first thing, if you was to go out and look at it, you would say, help, I need help. And like, no, you don't. They're making all this, it's idiot proof. Anybody can go out and hook up a trailer. It's just making sure everything's hooked up and that, your pin's locked. That's the only thing. But anyways, I don't have any other experience. I mean, we've hauled deads here, but I think I'm answering your question.
Yeah, no, you are, because you've been hauling tanker for your whole career, so it's hard for you to pinpoint that. Maybe I'll toss this over to Donut real quick and ask.
I can say something really quick, Mark. I've delivered like 2 box trailers. They were both for the railroad. Okay. They hired us to do it. So, but there's nothing in it. It's empty, So it's just shagging a box trailer. But
So let me ask Donut here real quick, since you've got the drive hand and the reefer experience, and maybe I can just put this in a nutshell and say it probably is the surge, right? That's got to be the biggest difference when you're actually hauling.
Yeah. As far as there's another difference that people don't often think about. But yeah, the surge, the slosh, you have to slow down in curves and shit a lot more than the average box truck. But when it's windy, I have a lot less to worry about. I'm not a giant broadside.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. And that's it just gets moving on you, and you can't ever really stop it until you stop dead and sit there for a little bit. That's interesting. Yep. Matt, how about this one? A little bit more of a technical question for you. Could you walk me through proper hookup from arrival to flow?
Yeah, or I'll try to summarize it because it can get quite detailed. But I
Sure.
guess the first thing that I do is kind of assess the situation because you want to be real careful where you position your trailer. Like if you have a rear dump like yesterday, it was kind of, I had an unload where it's kind of an uphill to the valve and I had a rear dump. And so you're never going to get all the product out because you're trying to, the valve's at the rear of the trailer. So I had to park further away and run a couple of hoses so that I wasn't up on that hill. So you want to think about where you position the trailer. And then you're looking at everything in the area. You're looking at, is it a 2-inch connection, a 3-inch connection? And then I just try to go through systematically. I start at the front of my truck. I get my tools out. I get my drip buckets out. I connect up my pump, whether it's hydraulic or a PTO shaft. Then I open up the hatch on top to ventilate the trailer, and then I go to the back or the middle, depending on where the connections are. And then I just start pulling out the hoses and running the connections. And then there's a lot of details from there too. There's a lot to it. Like when you're connecting the hoses, they have these like dog ear connections. And if they're ever a little bit loose, then you want to put a shim in there. So you learn to evaluate that. And there's safety straps that we put on all the connections. And then you check and double check everything. And like Donut was saying, all of the trailers are a little bit different. Even if you got 2 rear dump, maybe one of them have this like U pipe that you have to connect up, but the other one just has a butterfly valve that you turn. So it's really a matter of understanding the trailer. And that's probably my number one tip, is just to make sure you understand the plumbing. Like take the time to study that trailer and understand how everything works. Mm-hmm. And that is something I spent a lot of time on in training, and my trainer was really good because that allows you to avoid a problem and troubleshoot things when they do occur.
For
so
sure.
That's trying to.
Those are really good points.
Yeah.
Really good.
Well,
as far as the shims, and the
I'll tell you right now, you guys can't see it because we're not on video, but the smoke is pouring out of Amanda's ears, and it's starting to pour out of mine, too.
Listen, I have a reason for it, though, you guys. No, listen, so I've been thinking, like, Trucking 101, right? And if you guys have a new guy and you're trying to, like, pull a prank on him or whatever, I immediately think of the movie The Other Guys with the desk pop, right? Like trying to convince the cop to, fire his firearm in the office. But Matt just gave me like the exact idea of what the best desk pop would be for Trucking 101, especially if it's liquid. Tell them that if they park on an incline, they can unload faster. That would be so awful, but is that not hilarious? Come on. That's where the smoke was coming out of my ears for. I'm like, oh my God.
I literally had an unload once where I thought I read the hill correctly. I went to unload. I couldn't get the last little bit out. I had to clean out my lines, disconnect everything, pull away, turn around, come back going the other way, connect everything back up again, just so I could get the last 100 gallons out. That's when I learned my lesson about reading the topography before you get set up.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Polar Bear, I wanted to go to you here because actually you're parked at a washout right now. And something that I think is probably a bit of an underappreciated part of tanking is the cleanliness of your tank in the washout. How important, Polar Bear, is the cleanliness depending on the product, food grade, chemical, whatever you're hauling? What is the washout like and how crucial is it?
Very, and it just depends on where you're at, how long. Like they told me it was going to be late tonight, and I've been here, 2 hours. So they told me it was going to be late tonight, and they just pulled it in 20 minutes or so ago. So somebody got a hold of somebody up here.
Good.
But anyways, get down in the Houston area and New Orleans area. Those are, and the nice thing, we got Express there in Houston. That's a drop yard, what I call a drop yard for us.
Okay.
We drop and hook there and get a clean trailer, but mostly because we do what I call the chemical side and food grade. The food grade is very important, but the chemical side is, and it's just easiest to tell them no matter what you're doing, unless it is a food grade, just caustic, dry, and seal, because you never know. Go in there sealed, and they're not going to expect it.
Sure.
And they'll tell you, you didn't have to seal it. I know, it's just the way we are.
Okay, so that's something that is a pretty standard operating procedure across the liquid fleet, it sounds like.
It is. Because it used to be, we used to do a lot of inedible, and it was just a detergent wash.
Okay.
Well, now there's so many that require minimum caustic, and the Andersons is one. You have to have caustic. That's first. They don't care about the date or nothing else. All they want to see is caustic on there. If it doesn't say caustic, see ya. Go get it rewashed.
Did you tell me that you were getting a trailer steamed earlier?
Yeah, because that's just one thing I hate about the trucking industry that makes me want to pull my hair out, but I can't. And I told, without saying nuts, I told the shipper that it wasn't at the temperature at your guys' fault. And his exact words were, yeah, but they'll have steam there. So they, but it's just one of the things I don't talk about because I don't like it,
And you can't pull your hair out. You can't pull your hair out because you don't have any hair, Polar Bear. That's what we should tell people.
I just got a little bit on the chin.
Yeah, and that hurts. You don't want to pluck that out. So I totally get it, man. But I'm glad we brought it up. I know it's something that you don't like, but basically what we're talking about here for anybody that's a little confused is the product in your trailer wasn't at the right temperature, and so when we say they're steaming your trailer, they're warming that product up within your trailer using steam. Am I correct there?
Exactly. And here's the other thing. They're using the same piping that we're using when we use in-transit heat, which is using the antifreeze through it's just a 45-foot. I told Gabe this a couple weeks ago. All the in-transit heat is a 45-foot radiator cooler.
Interesting.
It's really hot going in, and it depends. Usually it's lukewarm coming back out, but not so. That's all I say it is. And I think it helps, like our molasses and VOPs and stuff like that that's really thick and heavy. I think it helps. But here's the thing. Some of that stuff is so heavy, it doesn't matter if you like to really use your brakes or use your Jake brakes. You're not mixing that up very well because it's so thick.
Sure.
We do that heavy bricks, not anymore. Down out of Houston, coming back to Missouri, that stuff was so thick it didn't splash the lid. There is nothing we haul that doesn't splash the lid, and coming out of Houston, you can just imagine, Marcus, the traffic there.
Yeah.
And it's going back to getting paid by the hour, because
Right.
I spent a lot of time in Houston. It's like people ask, where's your, I'm going to try that again. Where have you been mostly? And I'm like, I have literally been everywhere. I've been down south. I've been up east. I went to Rhode Island for the first 15 years, Pennsylvania, Ohio. But then I did a whole bunch of Houston, just south of Dallas, Houston, and then back up. So,
got experience all over
I got
these
off
roads.
on a tangent there, but
that's all right.
That's what happens when you talk to somebody that, like I said, I like talking old school. I say it all the time. I think this is the first time you've heard me say this, Marcus, but I don't like what direction the world's going, but I really like what the world is allowing me to do. The emails, the texting, just all of that.
Sure. Well, the technology, it shrinks the world for sure, but it also makes us bang our head against the wall. I have a little dent in the drywall just off to my left here that I've been continually working on with my forehead. Amanda got some experience about this the other day where it's just like, we didn't change anything. We jumped in here, Amanda. Your microphone didn't work. What the hell is going on? We run in circles for 5 minutes. We shut the thing off. We kick it while it's off. We turn it back on and everything works. Explain that to me. I can't explain it to you, but I can tell you, Amanda, my stress level's through the roof because of it from time to time. But I love this. I love doing work. I'm right in the same boat with Polar Bear. Like, I love my goddamn job. And I don't know about you, Amanda. I'll put up with those tech headaches to get to do this, kind of like what Polar Bear's saying.
And I will say I probably keep more cool of the two because my hair and my drywall are both still safe.
Yeah, well, my hair has that's been a crop circle situation since I was like 18, so we won't talk about that. Polar Bear, he said bye to his long ago. Looks great. Yeah.
Polar Bear, I'll save some for you.
You can see in my senior pictures that I had a really big receding hairline men. The oldest daughter seen my senior pictures, and she's like, "Who's that?" And I'm like, "Who do you think it is?" She goes, "Well, it's definitely not you." And I said, "Well, it definitely is me." And she goes, "But you had a lot of hair." I said, "I know, but I couldn't grow long hair, but I had thick hair." Yes. And then life happened, and next thing you know, I'm pulling it out. And then I used to do construction, and one of our new laborers come in, and he had a shaved head, so I just nicely kind of made fun of him about it. And then I thought, you know what? I bet he doesn't use any shampoo. I mean, I think I'm using the same shampoo bottle that I had when I was in the military.
Yes.
Because I didn't hardly use any there either.
Oh my God. That is like the best. That's the best PSA for baldness I've ever heard in my life.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
I've said it before. I'll say it again. We love a good rabbit hole and a good tangent on this show. So appreciate it, Polar Bear.
I'm going to go just one step further as far as I don't like using a electric shaver. I don't like using that versus shaving with an actual shaver. It lasts way longer when you shave wet, dry. However, you know what I mean with the razor instead of the electric.
Oh, I absolutely know.
I'm not a fan of the electric.
You've seen me in person. I am a furry individual.
Mm-hmm.
I can definitely, I could do a whole 1 hour symposium on the difference between the two and my preference.
You still got a lot more hair than me, though, dude.
Well, let's not keep bringing
And
us down
darker.
because neither one of us are doing well in the hair up top scenario. Okay.
All right, let's keep going.
Yeah, we'll get us
Rabbit
back.
Just went by.
Get us back on track here. Donut, I'm coming to you for this next one. A little bit of a piggyback off of what Matt was talking about here, where he's talking about connecting hoses and everything. One thing that is just one word that I can say that is something you guys deal with all the time that is completely foreign to other drivers, at least when they're talking about their loads, is pressure. Let's talk a little bit about the pressure, not only the existential pressure that you guys have to do the job right because it's very detail-oriented, but the pressure that the load is actually under when you guys are loading, unloading. How dangerous is it? What can go wrong? And how do we keep those things from going wrong in a tanking 101 scenario?
It is supremely dangerous. One of my trainer showed me a picture of somebody who opened the cap to connect a hose, and the cap flew off, snapped its chain, and became a semi-permanent feature of a wall.
Wow. And was the driver okay?
Yeah. But as far as I know. But there have been people injured who are... Like Matt was saying, we have a few places where they unload it, and there have been issues where they aren't familiar enough with a bleed-off valve.
Right.
So they just go to pop the cap, and it ends up shooting off at them. There have been a few people injured. There is by the outlets there is an air-off valve and a bleed-off valve. Occasionally, the air-off valve can slip, and it'll build up air pressure behind there. So when we're unloading, one of the first things we want to do is we get back there and make sure that's in the off position, and regardless, we open the bleed valve. That way we can see if there's product buildup behind there, air built up behind there, anything. It could just be from heat from the product in the tank. So you flip that down. Occasionally there's pressure inside the tank itself. You don't get anything when you open the bleeder on the back, but when you go to open the top, one of the things I've had recommended to me is you start furthest away from you on the dog ears and open as far away from furthest away from you and work your way back towards you, towards the ladder. That way, if pressure starts to push up, it doesn't pop free and hit you. Like you're not reaching over the whole thing and have that door come up and whack you.
Sure.
It could be messy.
And it's just little things, right? Like that might not be the most intuitive thing, but having somebody tell you that, it really clicks and it makes sense right away. This question is going to go for all three of you because I just want to really dial home this part of it. I know you guys spend a lot of time in training and in orientation talking about various pressures and unloading and loading and the whole lot. I'll start with you, Donut. Did you ever have a real serious oh shit moment involving pressure?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it wasn't really serious. It could have been.
Right.
I had finished unloading and was airing out a hose delivering death in the dead of winter. And I know these two guys know what I'm talking about.
Fun.
So the bleeder valve that I was talking about, I opened it up after airing off, and nothing came out. And I'm like, okay, why is that? And I kind of get moved around, and because I don't want to be directly under it to look up, but I get at a good angle, and I can see that death has frozen in the bleed off valve. So I get the torch out, which we have to use, and I'm making sure only to hit the metal. It was my first winter doing this, so I called my trainer, because a lot of our trainers will give you their numbers. I called my trainer and said, "Hey, this is the issue I'm running into. I know I need to use this torch. What do I need to look for so that I don't burn out something that I don't need to?"
Mm-hmm.
And he walked me through it, and I started doing that. And as soon as the depth started to heat up enough to give, the air, it blew a huge chunk of still frozen depth out, which it made a decent little crater. But as soon as the pressure started to release, my hose exploded.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
I was lucky that I was nowhere near the hose and that it was at the end of the process. There was no product in it. I had a great angle. So everything just flowed out. There was no back pressure from their tank. So there was no product thrown everywhere, but it could have been catastrophic.
Sure.
Did the end come off, or what happened? Sorry.
What was that?
Did the hose blow, or did the end come off, or?
No, the hose itself split and blew out the
that's
side.
what I was asking. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I was asking.
Polar Bear, how about you, man?
Sorry, Marcus.
No, I'm coming to you next. I think it's great. I
Yeah.
want you guys to follow up with one another, but can you tell us about an oh shit moment that happened with pressure during your long and storied career?
I'm going to back up real quick, go to Donut. That is very good points he's saying, and I cannot express that enough. Open that bleed off. Like, just everything he said. There could be pressure from them loading you in there. Just going from cold to hot, could be, and just, like you said, the small chance somebody or that air got turned on and there's pressure against that cap. So just very good point right there, Donut. So
Copy. And I totally understand after working here for 30 some years, you don't want to tell your oh shit story when it happened under pressure. Polar Bear, you got a reputation to uphold, and I understand that, my friend.
You know what? Most of it's true.
Matt, how about you, man? Ever have an oh shit moment with pressure that you are willing to share?
Kind of tangentially related to that, and I echo the points of being real careful with pressure, because those caps can blow off and kill you.
Right.
They'll blow. I've heard stories of them blowing a couple 100 yards if you're not careful. But for me, it was kind of reversed. So kind of unusual. I delivered to a place in Massachusetts, and one of the things we do when we're empty, you close your internal valve, and then, like Donut was saying, we have an air valve that you're using to clean out your hoses, basically, so that before you disconnect everything, the product is cleared out, so we're creating our own air pressure to clean things out, and then you release that pressure with that bleed off valve that he's talking about. So I did all that, and then I pulled off my hose, and then I was loading at the same place that I unloaded. I was loading fish oil, and so they hook up their hose, but then we have to use my pump to load. So we get everything all connected, and then I open up my valves and turn on my pump to start loading. all of a sudden it starts coming out of that bleed off valve
Oh,
because
no.
I forgot to close the bleed off valve, because you need to open that bleed off valve to get rid of the pressure, like the guys are saying. But then before I started loading, I didn't close it. And so it's a small little valve. So it just started kind of spewing a little bit into the cabinet back there. And it wasn't too big of a deal, but it was like, whoa, something's happening. And we had to shut it down and, get it fixed or whatever. But it was definitely that, oh shit kind of moment. And, it's related to that pressure system. So it's, again, the detail oriented that you were referencing earlier, Marcus. You just got to check and double check everything. And like Donut was saying, keep walking around, keep looking at things, because, you got to, one little thing like that can make such a difference.
It can, man. And the dangers involved are so serious. Like you said, a metal cap blowing off and going a couple 100 yards, that will do some very bad damage to whoever it hits. It might not be the liquid driver. It might be some guy at the plant. It could be anybody. And you got to be careful with this. Amanda, after going through some of this with these guys, are you surprised in any way? Like, does the detail orientation, is that something that might have surprised you a bit? Because I don't think little tiny details and all these little checks when I think trucking, but I do when I think tanking.
I will say the one thing that surprised me and also impressed me is the fact that liquid truckers incorporate leg day into every single day of their workday. But I would say, just in my experience with you, Marcus, talking to these guys, they all seem to take a tremendous amount of pride in what they do for a living. And with that being said, I am not so surprised that they would be detail oriented or that the job would require that, because the caliber of person that we talk to each week seem like the type that can handle a job like that.
Amen to that, man. It's a hell of a staff of drivers out there, and we love to have you guys on to talk about the job. This has been awesome. Now, I got to save a little bit of time because I got a couple other drivers that we weren't able to get in here today, and they've got a lot of good information for us, too. Those guys are John Fry and John Lohan. They've both been on the podcast before. We want to get them back in here. So, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get us to final thoughts here right now. This has been awesome. I feel like this might be the most dense 30-plus minutes that we've done on this podcast. We've got a ton of information stacked in here, a ton of really good advice from guys that have seen it. They're in the weeds every single day, and in Polar Bear's scenario, they've been in the weeds for 30 years. So great stuff, gentlemen. Polar Bear, I'll go to you first. Any final thoughts to share with us before we let you get back to your hurry up and wait day?
I just got to give a shout out to the Three Stooges. They'll know who I'm talking about. But if you take anything from today, from hooking up the trailer to Donut saying to open your air valves and watching your connections, I mean, it's just, that's our life. And sometimes you get a little too much in a hurry, or you're too good at it now that you don't have to pay as much of attention. You still do, and yeah.
Sage advice coming from Polar Bear there, man. I mean, like you said, it's so detail-oriented, and this is something that you guys just develop over time, but it's not something that can ever be viewed with any type of complacency, right?
Yeah, no. But and I do got to correct you. I'm not the longest driver here. Pijanowski still is. I just got to knock him off, and then I'm top dog.
Well, hey, I see. I'm very careful with my words. I said one of the longest tenured drivers.
I don't mind saying it. If it was anybody else, I probably wouldn't. But since it's Dan, I'm gonna give him the number one chart.
I'm not going to get on Dan's bad side either, Polar Bear. Don't get me wrong. I know Dan, and great guy, lot of experience. Don't want him to be mad at me, though. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And my other shout out is to you, Marcus. I'm always amazed coming on here. It's like I said, it's just like you and I are talking on the headset going down the road. I'm actually stopped this time, but it's just the way you interview and we get to talk to you just amazing. But I'm also a talker, so I think that helps.
Well,
All right, the floor is yours.
you're making me blush over here, man. I greatly appreciate it. And
and Amanda, she's new to it, but I'm talking to you a lot longer.
Yeah.
I love it.
Marcus, but
I wanted to add her in there too, because what you're going to find the longer that Amanda sticks around this show is she's every bit as good of it as at it as I am, and we're just going to continue making this podcast better because we get to involve talented people like all of you guys and like Amanda. I'm merely Steve Nash in here. I'm just getting the ball to the people that score the points. You guys are the stars of this show, and for good reason, because you do a great job, man. I never would have guessed going back 3 years that I would have so many drivers that are so good at podcasting. But you guys really do. You knock it out of the park every time. Polar Bear, thank you so much for the kind words and the amazing information. Of course, we'll get you back on here again soon. Final thoughts from you, Donut. Michael Donut Duncan, another guy that's joined us on here, giving us so much of his time. Final thoughts from you before we let you go, my friend.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of back on the topic of pressure. I was thinking about it when Matt was saying that his thing was tangentially related, and it made my brain stop for a second. We've been talking about the outward pressure, and we never talked about the reverse of it. It's the reason why opening up either the return or the vapor recovery or the lid, it's super important, because when you're unloading, that can create negative pressure and crush your tank like a beer can.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen the videos of that online, we never want it to happen to a liquid trailer, but it's amazing to watch something that big literally crush like a pop can. Look it up if you've not seen it. It's worth your time, and I think it illustrates, Donut, what you're saying. This is a serious deal here. It's not a small amount of pressure.
No. I actually got worried today when I was unloading. I felt they were unloading, and I felt the trailer shift, or I thought it was the trailer shift. I had a little bit of a bump. First thing I did is I grabbed my glasses, threw my hard hat on, checked the PSI on my drives, hopped out and ran back and checked the vapor recovery. It was open. What it was the airbags on the tractor getting a little more height. Now the weight was coming off.
So a very clinchy moment for you, but everything was fine, is what you're saying.
Yep.
Got it.
If you feel anything different, it's my piece of advice for any driver, especially with tanking, is if something feels different with your truck, especially when unloading, check it out.
Great advice to close
check
on.
Everything.
Great advice to close on. Verify everything. Yeah. We're going to hammer that one home again. Thank you for the time, Donut. Matt MacKellar, another gentleman who has come in here so many times, given us so much of his time, shared so much of his life with us here on the show. Matt, it's always a pleasure to have you, man. Great stuff that you gave us today as well. Final thoughts from you before we let you get out of here, my friend.
Yeah, thanks. Great to be on here. My final thought would be just to collect some basic tools that are useful. A mallet, some WD-40 have saved me from more situations. And then the other thing is, like, when I'm hooking up the hoses or unhooking them, sometimes those dog ears are pretty tight. And that's good because it means it's going to make a tight connection. But Chad Kepler, who's another driver for our company, taught me one time, he's like, your hand is not a hammer. Because I used to use my hand to like bang on that to close it, and it hurt.
Yeah.
And as I get older, it hurts a little more. I'm closing in on 50 here, so now I got like a little mallet, and if the connection's tight, I'll just kind of tap it and use that to close it up. And if it won't release, I got a little flathead screwdriver I can put in there to kind of help pop it open, and just some basic tools really help the job go easier. Is my point. So ask some of the veteran people what they use, and that can help you out.
Absolutely. And these guys will share their knowledge with you. And that is something that, listen, I think that's a little bit of a male trait. I don't know. I had this lock on my shed where I keep my lawnmower. It was a combination lock. And I just realized that for the last 5 years, it's been rusted, and every time I opened it, I've literally had to punch it to get it to release. And my hand's all bruised and cut up. And the other day, you guys, you know what I did? I went out and I bought a new goddamn lock. And look, lo and behold, my hands look fine now. Now I've got model hands again. Sometimes just a little bit of advice, sometimes just a little tool like that, what Matt was saying, will really make the job easier. Guys, thank you so much for coming on here today. Polar Bear, Michael Donut, Duncan, and Matt MacKellar. You guys did awesome as always. Please be safe out there. We'll get you all on here again soon. All right, fellas?
Oh, yeah.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Good to hear from you guys. Yep.
You too.
Bye.
Take it easy, guys. You know, Amanda, in the intro when I talked about being scatterbrained?
Yeah, for sure.
It's the whole reason we're even talking right now without the people that are joining us for our next segment. I got a really exciting segment to close out this podcast episode with, and I've been excited about it for like months now, and I didn't even mention it at the top. Way to do your job, podcast host. Great job. Just A's across the board for me today, Amanda.
Sir, you had your mental button up on for that first segment. Nobody can blame you because you were ready to be serious about a serious topic. Now it's time to unbutton that top button. Not too much. We don't need the taco meat, okay? But we're going to have a little bit of fun now, okay?
I'm so glad that we brought in a co-host here that will take it easy on me and not double down when I try to give myself guff, because you just made me feel a lot better.
Good.
What am I so excited about, Amanda? It's our Season 1 Trivia Championship. We've got two guys coming in here right around the corner, but, you know, I didn't just want to shoot out of the gate and not actually set this up for you. Yeah, I forgot to talk about it in the beginning. What gives? I'll take notes, and I'll do my job better next week. Let's get into our Trivia Championship with Vic the Brown Bandit Walker and company pilot and assistant IT manager Darian Mateo right now. Yeah. I love it. Some good trivia music here, Amanda. We're both grooving. I am so excited for our Trivia Championship. We have been waiting. You know, it was only 10 episodes between the first round of trivia and the second round of trivia. It's now been like 15 or 20 episodes between the second round and the championship. So this is a very long-awaited challenge, Amanda.
It's definitely due. Is it a rematch? Is this a rematch?
This is not a rematch. We are taking Vic, the Brown Bandit Walker, who has won twice against other truckers. It's 5 total truckers that he has defeated to get to this point. Now, our other guest today, he got kind of bestowed this position, but we're going to wait to welcome him in real quick. Let's say hi to Vic first. Vic, you ran the gauntlet to get here, man. It was not easy. You defeated 5 truckers, but you're here, and we've got some Drive for Gold points on the line for you, my friend.
Oh, really? That'd be nice.
So what I've gotten cleared, and I didn't want to say anything about this until we actually got on the air, but we're going to give you 25,000 Drive for Gold points just for getting here. You ran the gamut. You got through 5 other drivers. We thought that was worth something. But
thanks.
If you can beat Darian Mateo, who's widely considered just the de facto trivia champion of the Plattsmouth Terminal, you're going to go home with 50,000 Drive for Gold points today. How's that sound, Vic?
That sounds real good. I wasn't expecting that. That's awesome.
Well, let's welcome in your challenger, the guy that was bestowed the position. You know, Darian, I asked the guys at the terminal, hey, do you guys want to do a little trivia competition and crown a champion? And they all said, Darian's the champion. We don't need to waste the time.
Oh.
I think that's hyping me up a little much. I know more than I would say like an average person, but I am no trivia expert.
Man.
I wouldn't go that far.
Well, I'll tell you, when we had you on the air before, I gave you what were some pretty off-the-wall random questions, and you nailed all of them. So in the short performance that you've shown on this podcast, I think you're worthy of being bestowed the de facto champion of the office. They all respect you and revere you, from what I can tell.
To be honest, what you had asked me, I thought was just common knowledge. All my friends and family know it. would have been able to answer.
Wow.
This
All
is going to
right.
be really interesting. Seriously.
It is. It is.
It's
I think
eating
we've
up
got
already.
two very smart gentlemen here that are going to compete, and that means that I need to tell you guys a little bit about how it's going to work. We have 8 questions for each of you in the first category. There's 16 total questions. You can answer it. If you can't answer it, the person that didn't get that question gets a chance to steal. You'll get 1 point for answering correctly or 1 point for stealing the answer. After those 16 questions are complete, we will move to the championship round, which is tanking questions. There's only 8 of these. You'll still only get 1 point for answering it correctly, but you'll get 2 points if you steal one in the championship round. If you answer the question correctly, you will hear this. An incorrect answer gets you this. And saying something off the wall to the point where I can't tell if that was a serious answer or a joke will get you this. Just because I have that button on my board and it makes me happy when I hear it. So, without further ado, let's kick the music back up and get into it. It is the Liquid Trucking Podcast Trivia Championship. Vic the Brown Bandit Walker versus Darian. We got to figure out who's going to go first. Amanda, I want you to pick, without telling me, a number between 1 and 10. Keep it in your head right now. Vic and Darian, we are going to do this with the Price is Right rules. The closest to Amanda's number without going over will go first. In fact, I'll do it like a coin toss. I'll give you your choice if you want to go first or second. Darian, what number do you think Amanda's got in her head right now? Remember, closest to without going over.
That's the case. I'm going to go with, let's go with 7.
7 for Darian. Vic?
That's funny because that was the number I was going to say, so I'm going to say 6.
6. Okay, well, we've already got a competition breaking out here, Amanda. What is the number?
I legit thought about lying for a second, but the truth is you both went over because I had picked the number 5. So we're going to have to do this one more time. I've just picked a new number. So this time,
I think we could give it to the 6. That's okay, right? Just
You
save
think
some time
so?
here and just say,
you
I think
said
close to
Price
6.
is Right rules.
I
sir,
did.
okay?
I'm breaking the rules. I'm the trivia. I am the guy. I get to do that. So I'm
Sorry,
breaking
Darian.
the rules. Yep.
That's
Sorry,
fine.
Darian. Congratulations, Vic. Do you want to go first or do you want to go second?
I'll go second.
Okay, Darian, your first question is, what is the currency used in the United Kingdom called?
Great British Pounds.
I'll take that. The pound sterling. I'm going to kill the music so we can hear our buzzers and our correct ones. All right, Darian coming in with 1 point and no hesitation there. I would have failed that. I was going to say this before, Amanda. I told you, I tried hard to get stuff that, I didn't know, not common knowledge stuff. And so I set this up as, this is going to be tough. What's actually going to happen is Vic and Darian are going to get them all right, and I'm going to look like an idiot. And I'm okay with that. But I
Listen.
forgot to say it.
There's that rare episode of Jeopardy or Who Wants to Be a Millionaire where it's just made for you, right? And you're like, I'm a genius. So
Yep.
this just isn't, maybe it's just not that episode for you. It's okay.
Yeah, it's amazing it's not that episode for me, and I made it. I'm the one who constructed the thing. So, all right. Darian's got a point on the board. We're going to Vic now. Vic, who wrote the book Crime and Punishment?
Crime and Punishment. I read John Grisham, so oh boy.
I would think with your prior career, maybe you ended up reading Crime and Punishment at one point in time or another.
Oh.
It's a slog. I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah. That one's too crazy.
Throw out a guess.
I really don't have a guess other than shit. I'm trying to think back to law school. There's a goofy Dostoevsky or something goofy.
He got it.
How?
I'm going to take it because Dostoevsky, it was a little shaky on the pronunciation, but Dostoevsky is who we were looking for. I'm going to give that
No
one
way.
to you. Yeah, that's why I tell you to take a guess, fellas. I hate it when I'm...
That was blind. That was throwing a dart at a freaking sidewall.
That's what you got to do, man. That's why I tell people every time we're doing trivia, I say, take a guess. Don't go without answering. You never know. You might get it right. We got 2 points on the board. We're going back to Darian here. Now, remember, if anybody gets a question wrong, the other guy can steal. So, Darian, your next question, what is the smallest country in the world?
By land area or by population?
By land
come
area.
on.
We'll go by land area.
Is it Mauritius? Or the Vatican, one of the two?
It is not Mauritius. One answer per, please. Vic, your chance to steal here.
That's Vatican City for sure.
It is the Vatican City. Hey, you got to be careful there, Darian. You might give it away.
Right?
I knew it anyway.
Okay. 2 points for Vic, 1 point for Darian. Going back to Vic, what is the rarest blood type, Vic?
Well, it's not mine because I'm O positive. But the universal blood type or the rarest blood type?
The rarest blood type.
That there's only 5, right?
That I can't tell you.
Positive.
You could cut the tension with a knife.
I know it, so you better get it right.
Well, like there's a rarest. I'm gonna say AB negative just because I think that's right, but there may be another one.
We are looking for AB negative once again. Vic, the guessing is working really well for you right now.
Well, I knew there's only like 4 or 5. My daughter's a nurse, and she'd probably kick my tail if I didn't get that one. I'm A positive, but I know
there is actually a blood type rarer than that.
There's a blood type rarer than AB negative. Really?
That is correct. It's called RH null.
RH null. I've never heard that before, Darian. And I got to be honest, since I had AB negative written down and I'd never heard that one before, I'll take that one on the chin. Again, I'm the idiot in today's performance. So, but man, I apologize for having my information wrong. Amanda, have you ever heard of RH null?
No, but I can't remember what my blood type is. So who are you asking? Like, consider the source here.
I've never heard of RH null. That's really a blood type?
It's extremely rare. It was featured on a medical episode. I think it was either Grey's Anatomy or The Pit or something. I saw it and looked it up after that.
Often called golden blood.
Nope,
golden blood, yes.
Oh, really?
Found in fewer than 50 people worldwide. It completely lacks all 61 antigens in the Rh system, making it a universal donor for rare Rh deficient individuals, but extremely difficult to match for transfusions. So we all just learned about Rh null, the golden blood.
Okay, well, here's what I'll do for that. Vic, are you okay with me giving Darian a point there too? You're still going to be in the lead.
That's fine with me. That's knowledge I didn't know.
Right. I think he earned that point there because again, I'm an idiot. So moving to our next question, which will go to Darian, who just corrected the trivia maestro. What a maestro I am. Darian, approximately, which means you can just give me a nice round number here. What is the speed of light?
Okay.
You're going to come in here with RH null. You better at least get close to this one.
It's like, how round are you looking? How many decimal places?
Basically, I'm looking for a 6-digit number here, and the last 3 digits are 0.
Okay. What's it like?
This is just
253,000 miles a second.
Sorry, say that again.
253,000 miles a second.
I'm sorry, that's not it. Vic, you got a chance to steal here.
Do I have to get it exactly right, or can I get within?
I was going to give this. I'll give you the same range I was going to give Darian. If you get within 3,000 on either side, I'll take it.
Okay, because I heard this, and I thought I heard him say 187,000 miles per hour from the space shuttle launch coming back to the U.S., or not space shuttle, but the moon landing coming back. So I'm going to say 187,000 miles an hour.
I got to say no on a technicality because it's 186,000 miles per second. not per hour.
I don't get the. I gotcha. Makes sense.
Yep. Because I will tell you this, Vic. 187,000 miles per hour is fast, but it's horrifically slower than 186,000 per second.
Of course. Fair enough.
Okay, so we're still sitting here with Vic at 3, Darian at 2. That question was Darian's. Now we're gonna go back to Vic. Sorry, what was that, Vic?
I should have said the number and just shut up.
Yep, exactly. I probably would have given it to you. All right. Vic, your question is, what U.S. state was the last state to join the Union?
That's not out east. Let's go with Hawaii.
Hawaii is the last state. Now, if we would have said province, I do believe you could have been correct with Puerto Rico. Darian?
Puerto Rico, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Not actually a province, it's a state territory.
Oh, it's a state territory. Okay, state
Virgin
territory.
Islands is a territory.
There you go.
We could have said Greenland if we were going with the president wants to annex a new state. But
No, well, we're going to take Alberta, damn it. They want to receive anyway.
You know what? Canada was the last state to join the Union. They just haven't joined yet. No, I don't want to get anybody upset at me over that. So,
No.
Darian, next question for you, my friend. Vic in the lead, 4-2. Who discovered penicillin?
It's. I want to say Salk, but I think he was polio. So I'm gonna go with Jonas Salk, Dr. Jonas Salk. Yeah, he was polio.
He was polio. Do you have any idea on this one, Vic, to steal?
Fleming.
Ah, that's it.
It was
That's
Fleming.
it.
It was Fleming.
It was 50-50. It was 50-50. EA gave the other one, so I would have thought the same.
Well, this is just kind of how these are laying out here, and I apologize for it, but I've got another question for you here, Vic, that is literature-based, and I hate to tell you, it's not John Grisham, but you got the last one by throwing spaghetti at the wall, so let's see how you do on this one. Your question, Vic, who wrote Moby Dick?
I have no idea. I don't know that one. I should, but I've never read that book.
A guess?
I just think of the character Captain Ahab. I don't have a guess.
All right, Darian, can you come in and steal this one? Who wrote Moby Dick?
Herman Melville.
That is correct, Herman Melville. That's a tough one because I know that one, but I don't know any other Melville novels. So that's a tough one. At least it was for me. But I think we've established that all of these would be very tough for me. Okay, Darian with 3, Vic sitting with 5. This next question is for Darian. What is the largest island in the world?
Australia.
Vic.
My daughter lives in Australia. It's Greenland.
It is Greenland.
It's also a continent, isn't it?
Not yeah, it doesn't mean it's not an island. An island is by definition any landmass surrounded on all sides by water, which Australia technically is, which is why I answered that.
So is it bigger though, is my question.
Well, the Mercator projection on a map makes Greenland super big when it's not super, super big, but it might actually be Greenland.
I'm Googling as fast as my little fingers can type right now. You know, next time I'm just going to have Darian put together the questions. It's not going to work very well to have him answer them and put them together, but that is true, and that's Australia. Is it also a continent? Okay? So
it's the only continent.
It is. My daughter lives in Sydney, Australia, so I kind of know a little bit about that one.
Okay, all right. Well, again, I kind of feel like we gave Vic the point there, but Darian corrected us, so I feel like we're going to give Darian a point as well. That's just a wash, that question. I promise you this won't happen again. I am going to do much more research and stop trusting every damn computer that I'm sitting in front of.
Quit letting Darian bully you, okay? Like,
well,
by a technicality, sure, Australia is an island, but it is not classified as an island. It is classified specifically as a continent. So don't let him shake you, okay? I think Darian's more worried about like the integrity of his intelligence, and we know you're a genius, Darian. We know it. I can tell.
Specifically, it is about the technicalities, because as Futurama has said, in the bureaucrats, you're technically correct. The best kind of correct.
Yeah, that's a good
number
pull
1.0
right there.
in Futurama.
That's a good pull. That's a good pull there. Love me some Futurama. Live in the city where Matt Groening took a ton of inspiration for The Simpsons, and also there's a phenomenal Futurama joke where they think they have landed on a planet made of trash, and they say, "Oh, we're on the trash planet. I thought we were just in Eugene, Oregon." So I hold that true as a really good pull there, Darian. I'm glad you did it. Okay, so we're back to Vic now. I'm trying to get myself all put together here. Okay, Vic. What is the longest running Broadway show of all time?
My favorite one is not probably it. Phantom of the Opera, maybe, probably.
I'll tell you, the way that Vic is staying out in front right now is just not giving Darian a chance to come back and steal any of these, man.
No steals.
No steals.
I gave him one.
You did give him one. You're doing well. All right. And you know what, Amanda? You're talking about Darian bullying me. That's how I got bullied in school, too. It was the chess club looking down on me because I was still in study hall trying to figure out Math 101.
Man, they're both making me feel uncultured, so I'm with you, okay?
Yeah. Well, my daughter lives in New York, so maybe a little Broadway there. I don't know.
Okay, well, look at that. It's all of this. You got people spread all over the world, and they're just giving you knowledge. Darian, start having some kids. Start shipping them abroad. That's all I can say.
I did. They're 4 and 3.
From New York, and Adrian from New York, and Gwen and Sydney. So they both keep me on my toes. They're smarter than me.
And Darian, what did you say about your kids?
I'm 4 on the 4-year-old, so they're just not quite there yet.
Right.
Okay, but we're shipping them abroad to add to the knowledge base once they turn 18, right?
That's right.
Awesome. Okay, let's get back to it with Darian's question here. Darian, what chemical element has the symbol Fe?
Iron.
It is iron. Darian pulls up with 5 points to Vic's 7. We're getting down to it here. This one's a bummer, and I'll tell you why afterwards. Vic, who developed the polio vaccine?
Oh!
Well, that is... well, it has to be the salt.
I told you it was a bummer, Darian.
I did know that one.
I told you it was a bummer, man. You're too smart for your own good. Now Vic knew that one, but you gave it away earlier.
I did.
That's okay. That's all right. There's still a shot for you.
I trusted I was right, though. I mean, he could have been wrong too. I wasn't 100%. I didn't.
Now, before I give this next question to Darian, because it is his turn, I'm going to ask Vic. You don't by chance have a daughter living in Egypt, do you?
I do not.
Okay, Darian, you've got a shot here. What is the capital city of Egypt, Darian?
Cairo.
Cairo.
Man,
there we
easy.
go.
That was easy. One.
I knew that one too.
Well, yeah, because your daughter went to Egypt or something, right? Tell me the truth.
No, nothing. No relation to Egypt.
All right.
I'd like to go, but never.
Well, this one, I will say this question is the only question that you could consider on a technicality, Darian, a little bit of a trick question. It's not a trick question. The answer to my best knowledge is correct, which means it's probably incorrect, and Darian will tell us. But I think that the way this question's worded is a little bit of a trick, but I had to word it this way. Okay. What, Vic, is the largest lake in the world?
In the world. See, that's another one that, like, I'm thinking Lake Victoria, but I think also the Caspian Sea is considered a lake, so I'm going to go with Caspian Sea.
The Caspian Sea is the answer.
Because that's a trick. I've had that before.
Yeah, I didn't like it, but technically, again, we're talking about technicalities. That one is actually the largest, what is considered lake in the world, is the Caspian Sea. Darian, coming to you. We're going to take this overseas in a similar way, but not, we're just going to talk about the metric system here. Or I don't know if this is metric. Celsius is what we're talking about. What
Still
is the
metric?
Yeah, okay, good. See, look at that. I'm giving myself one of those. One of those for the trivia maestro. And what, 2 of these? Because I missed 2 of them so far, but okay. What is the boiling point of water in Celsius, Darian?
It is 100 degrees centigrade.
That is correct. Darian with 7, Vic with 9. Only 1 question left here for Vic in the first round, and then we are on to our tanking trivia. Vic, what is a word that reads the same forward and backward called?
An anagram.
Darian.
Oh. I can think of an example of one, but I can't think of what they're called.
It's not anagram?
No, anagram, if I remember correctly, is something that you can rearrange the letters of and create a whole new word out of.
Correct.
Yes.
And an anagram would be like mom, right? I can read it the same forward or backwards. Darian, need an answer from you?
I got nothing. Nothing that can help at least.
You don't want to guess?
Dang it.
Nope, I got nothing. I originally got nothing.
Okay, all right. Nobody got that one. No points. Vic, you kind of sound like it might have come to you after you tried. What do you think?
Yeah, palindrome.
It is a palindrome, correct.
Dang
And you know what?
Anagram just sat in my brain.
Well, I Googled it right after you said it just to make sure that I wasn't screwing up again, and I got that one. I was right there, so... All right, on to our final round. 4 questions apiece. Remember, the questions are still both worth 1 point, but if you steal a question, it will be worth 2 points in this round. We are all tanker all the time. Darian, your first question. What endorsement is required to haul liquid in bulk? I am looking for the letter of the endorsement. What endorsement is required to haul liquid in bulk?
Well, it's tank endorsement, so I'd assume T, maybe? But I'm just guessing. Yeah.
Vic?
N.
It is N. Vic, your question, what endorsement is required for hazmat tanker loads?
I just got my hazmat only a year ago, or 2 years ago. No, it's 1 year. I'm just going to guess with the H because it's the first letter.
Darian, a chance to steal and get 2 points here.
Yeah, I have no idea what the actual letter is for hazmat endorsement.
If you had to guess. There's only 26 letters, right? Or is that wrong?
No, there's 26 letters, but by definition, it has to be less than that because it can't include N and it can't include O.
There you go. 24 letters.
Or M. 23 M.
23.
Doesn't work either. Z?
Oh, close. We were looking for X is your hazmat endorsement letter there. X.
I can't even cheat on my license because I just pulled my license out and it just says hazmat on it, Nebraska's anyway.
Good.
So I couldn't even cheat it if I wanted.
No cheating. No cheating. I'm glad you're playing it honest and didn't pull it out until after. Okay, Darian, we're back to you now. About how full is a tanker when the surge is the most dangerous?
Like a percentage or a fraction?
You could give me either one. I'll take it because I can do that math. Not well,
Okay.
but I can get there.
All right. Complete guess is probably like 2/3, 66%, something around that. Because there's a lot of room for movement. Dang it.
It's close. Vic, what do you think?
What did he say?
I
didn't hear his answer.
He said 66% or 2/3.
Well, I know it's the more dangerous the less it is, so I'm going to say 40%.
Yeah, we were looking for between 40 and 50% full there. I was going to give you guys a 10-point range. Yeah, half full is kind of the area that we're looking for there. So we've got Vic coming in with 2 more. Okay, here we go. Back to Vic. What is the purpose of the bridge formula?
The bridge law?
No, the bridge formula.
Well, I only know the bridge law, like in California, but it's determined. The formula is determined to figure out the maximum weight that's allowable to go. I know that. Is that what you mean?
Let me just give you one little add-on to it. It's to figure out the maximum weight based on what?
The maximum weight on the distance from the axles.
That's what we were looking for. You answered enough of it. Max weight based on axle spacing is what we were looking for there. Gonna give that one to you. Darian, these ones have been tough for you, man. You don't drive, and I mean, we knew it going in. So you're being a hell of a contestant here for even sitting here and not just ripping my head off for making tanking the championship round, man. I appreciate it. But this one, I think if you take your time here and you really think about it, I think you can get this one. GHG regulations refer to regulating what?
And relation to tanking, GHG. Is this like super tank specific or is it just trucking specific?
You would say trucking specific here, especially depending on the state you were in. If you were in California, you could just say automobile specific.
GHG, greenhouse gas?
He got it. Greenhouse gas emissions.
Yay,
nice job.
Yay.
Nice job.
I was just guessing the acronym.
Yep. All right,
Very
Vic.
good.
Only 3 questions left. 2 for Vic, 1 for Darian. Vic, what is a normal air brake PSI range?
In what state?
The state you're in.
Well, the max is when you want to say, well, I'm looking for the cutoff, so I'm going to say between 100 and 125. It would tap out at 150, 100 and 125.
Yep, that was what we were looking for, between 100 and 125 PSI. Nice job there. Another point for you. Darian. Oh, man. Hazard class for flammable liquids. Now, this one is a number and not a letter. I will give you that. What is the hazard class for flammable liquids?
This is like on a placard, right?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. I can think of what a placard looks like for flammable. 2? Damn.
Vic?
It's 3.
That was close.
You were close,
Darian.
but I didn't even want to say that. I didn't even want to say that you were close because I didn't want to give Vic any extra love here. I'm really trying for you, but he's running away with it a little bit.
Hey, that's okay.
It's okay, man. I appreciate you being a good sport. Vic, it's your final question, and it's kind of a walk-off grand slam time for you, so I hope you can nail this one. But if not, we're just going to give it to Darian just for being such a good sport here. Vic, what is the device that prevents overpressurization?
That's the ATP. What do you call that? I'm trying to think of the word. It TPR, pressure release, temperature pressure release, TPR.
Darian, a chance to bring it a little bit closer here. I will tell you this, if this is a little bit of a hint based on what Vic said, I think Vic's overthinking it a little bit. The device that prevents overpressurization, what's it called?
My immediate thought would have just been an emergency pressure relief valve, something along those lines.
That's what we were looking for, pressure relief valve. So that gives Darian 2 more points, but it's not going to be enough. Vic is going to take it down with 17-10. That last round really made the difference, fellas. I'm not going to do that to Darian the next time we get another trivia champion in here to test him because I don't feel like we gave him a fair shake today. But Vic, congratulations, my friend. You are our Season 1 trivia champion. You will be going home with 50,000 Drive for Gold points, and you will be barred from competing for Season 2. That's the one thing is, to the victor go the spoils. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I'm fair with that.
Great job, man. Anything you want to say to us before we let you go here?
All good. It's been fun. I just need to meet Darian. I've never met him. I understand you work in IT. Is that right?
IT and flying. So hopefully, if I don't ever have to see it, because if I have to fly, I can pick you up. Something bad happened.
Yes, sir.
So.
Yeah, I hope that doesn't happen. But I'd like to meet you sometime. That'd be interesting. I worked in IT some too when I was younger.
I'm over in the admin building. Come on over if you ever get back through
Will
there.
do.
That would be great. We get two IT guys together, and you guys can go scold the higher ups about their browsing habits. I love it. Let's get that live.
Take a picture and send it to us.
I thought he was going to get that question about when they released the latest update to the Isaac tablet or something in IT. I was like, I was trying to look up the date because it came out last week, and I was like, I hope that's not one of the questions because I know it's not within the week, but I couldn't tell you the exact date. I thought you were going to give something like that.
Oh, no, I could tell you that.
Yeah, right. That would have been a perfect one for Darian, but sorry, I was too busy getting other questions wrong for this whole segment. So, but I will get a little bit more liquid specific next time, not just tanker specific, because I think everybody in liquid know things about how the business runs. So, gentlemen, Vic the Brown Bandit Walker, our season 1 champion. Congratulations to you going home with 50,000 Drive for Gold points. Darian, our runner-up this time, man, but you're getting another chance in season 2. Thank you so much for testing Vic's metal, man.
Yeah, of course. It was a lot of fun.
All right, guys. Well, we got to wrap this up. Congratulations, Vic. Darian, you take care of yourself. We'll get you back on here soon. We'll be right back with more on the Liquid Trucking Podcast. A little bit of a rough one for the Trivia Maestro there. Our contestants did phenomenal, Amanda. How fun was that?
It was super fun. And listen, they have only confirmed what a very wise man told me once. He said, the smartest men don't know a lot about one thing. They know a little bit about a lot of things. And I think that definitely describes both of those guys.
Yeah. I mean, I was not down what I would call a lane for those first 16 questions. They were all over the place. Classic literature, geography, math, science, you name it. And those guys really did, there wasn't one question that somebody didn't get, with the exception of the last one, which was palindrome. Now, we could say on a technicality that there was questions that I didn't get, because there was. But again, as Darian so eloquently put it, technicalities there, we still took care of him. And look, if we hadn't have given Darren those 2 technicality points, this would have been an even bigger blowout. So I don't think we did anybody any disservice today, Amanda.
Oh, no, not at all. But I also think it's interesting watching our rapport develop. You're what, like a year younger than me? How old are you, 41?
Yeah, I'm 41.
Yeah, okay. So I'm feeling this big sister dynamic, because tell me I didn't get a little defensive on your behalf. So my apologies to the big D, big brain on big D, and me jumping in there like, don't pick on poor Marcus.
That's exactly what you should have done. I grew up with a big sister, and I depended on her for that because the nerds bullied me. They knew more than I did, and they pointed and laughed at me because of it. And it was real tough, You try to be a jock, but you're not big enough and not good at sports that much. You try to do the brain thing, and the nerds laugh at you. That's why I went with music. I just can, I pick drums. I can hit these as hard as I want, and you guys can't tell me it sounds bad. But I need the big sister every now and then, because I get hard on myself. We keep a high standard here on the Liquid Trucking Podcast, and how dare a Trivia Maestro get his facts wrong. I mean, I deserve a little bit of a verbal slap on the wrist here. I can't lie.
I think maybe once we get to, what's it going to have to be, season 3, we let Darian help us come up with some of the questions. I think that'd be really fun.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea. And then what's going to happen is he's going to come up with all the questions, and we're going to have 2 drivers in here, and they're not going to know any of them. And then he's going to feel like he got his revenge, right?
Well, I mean, listen, you make it about Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter, and I'll come in and be a contestant, okay?
There you go. There you go. My wife, too, man. She's got that Lord of the Rings stuff down. In fact, just last night, I was in the room, and I was rolling my back out on our little wheel. We have one of those wheels that you roll your back out.
Yeah.
And she's talking to a client about a Lord of the Rings tattoo, and she's like, he thought that King such and such died in this place. And she didn't tell me what she was talking about. I was like, is this like history? Was there a battle that I didn't catch? And she's like, no, in Lord of the Rings, King such and such with the so-and-so and the thing and thing. And I was just like, whatever.
That's awesome.
Great. You didn't talk about Samwise Gamgee, and you didn't talk about Gandalf. Those are the 2 that I know. So anyway, I digress. We don't have a lot of time here for this outro today, because obviously we filled up a lot of time with a fantastic segment on Tanking 101. Big thanks to Polar Bear, Mikal Donut Duncan, and Matt MacKellar for coming on there. Those guys provided us with awesome insight today. And I'll be honest, Amanda, if I was a prospective tanker driver listening to this episode, I'm giving my guy Jake Debo a call tomorrow because those guys set it up about as well as you could set it up. It's a hard job. There's a lot of nuance to it, but it's a rewarding one as well. And Polar Bear really brought that home talking about the pay.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, there are no bigger cheerleaders than the people that are working with that logo on their shirt, on their truck, on their hat, if your name is Marcus. But yeah, definitely always further confirming what a phenomenal company Liquid is.
Jake Debo wants to talk to you. You know how I know that? Because we have a meeting every week, and he tells me about talking to all of you guys. So give him a call if you're interested. They've got some seats open, I think, at the time. I don't know. We're always recording these a bit out, so when you hear it, give them a call, and you'll know if they've got seats open right now and if they're hiring in your area. You can also head on over to liquidtrucking.com if you want to apply there, find out a little bit more about the company. That's their website. If you want to find out more about the podcast, there is a link there on that page that just says podcast. All you got to do is click it. Thank God they made it a link. It used to just be a big picture of my face. You can also just type in the website that I know you've probably already got bookmarked by this time since we're 126 episodes in, podcast.liquidtrucking.com. That's where you can find everything about this podcast, all the information about the shows, who's on them, what we're talking about, and you can send me an email there. Hit me right in the pocket if you want to be on the Liquid Trucking Podcast. We're going to give you 25,000 Drive for Gold points for the privilege of coming on the first time. I'm not asking you to do it for free. Come hang out with Amanda and I. We have fun, and I might even make myself look dumb enough that you can feel really smart at the end of the day. You never know what's going to happen, Amanda, here on the Liquid Trucking Podcast. But about time for us to wrap this episode up. Anything to leave the guys with today before we get out of here?
I don't know, man. I would just say that I will never look at somebody that works in the trucking industry the same ever again. That level of knowledge was not what I was expecting on either segment. So yeah, eye-opening today.
Got a lot of smart people working here at Liquid Trucking, and we're going to bring back trivia for season 2 here before too long. So get ready. If you want in on it, all you got to do is send me an email, podcast@liquidtrucking.com. Stay safe out there, Liquid Trucking. Keep the shiny side up. We'll see you next week for episode 127.
Thanks for tuning in and being the gold standard of drivers on the road. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel and tune in next week for another episode of the Liquid Trucking Podcast.
Interested in finding out more about what it takes to bring a podcast like the Liquid Trucking Podcast to your fleet? Bulldog provides tailor-made top-to-bottom podcast production services. We'll meet your terminal staff, connect with your drivers, and bring you the content you want your drivers to hear. Type bulldog.works into your browser to connect with us and learn more about what we can do for your fleet. That's bulldog.works for podcasts, tenacious recruiting, and more.